We focused in our project on two big targets, and one of them is sustainable development, and another is the affordable housing city. And by selecting of non-toxic building materials for constructing the house, and by using of local materials like bamboo, thereby a sustainable housing city was established. And in order to build in social, environmental, economic, and ecological way, there were some aspects which needed to be integrated. And those aspects are to have a nurturing community, equitable social environment, and to have a sufficient economy and sustainable economic development. Our biggest target was to have an affordable housing city and to strengthen the connection of areas with weak relations with the city and its surroundings, and to improve and develop the physical and social environments. Destination accessibility was important to us, and one of the other targets was to increase the quality of life in the region. We used in our planning area for types of containers. I would like to zoom in actually. Um, we used in our planning area four types of containers, and one is the 4 feet, 30 feet, 20 feet, and 10 feet. And we choose to have extra tall shipping containers, which have the height of 2.9 meter. And why did we choose the shipping containers for housing city? Because shipping container houses are cheaper to build than regular homes. They are very resource efficient and can be made to look like regular homes. I should zoom out a little. Yeah. And the containers will be used as the construction of building. After that, they will be clad with bamboo. Bamboo cladding serves as sun protection, and bamboo panels are inserted on the roof. And there are 14 million out-of-service containers in the world, and lots of them are available. Today, all around the world, many potential homeowners are looking for lower construction and maintenance costs. This is one of the reasons. And by using containers, we will contribute to recycling, and we will be saving time for building process. Therefore, transportation of containers are easy as well. And our concept started with two main axes. We created two main axes because the most important areas in the surrounding, one of them was the railway station, and destination accessibility was important, and therefore we created a main axe into the railway station, and we wanted to connect our area with the kampung in the south. And by that, we created our centers, housings, and commercial areas like here. After that, we started to create our green spaces, and on the paths, on our axis, and on the river side, we have green paths, and in our centers, we have green areas and more trees as sun protection. And here are our public spaces. On that side is the housing center, culture center, and the commercial area. And on the street side, it's possible to work and live at the same time in the same building on those sides. And this part is just the commercial area where we have little shops like warung, which is called in Indonesia. And here we showed our walking paths on the riverside. And those are the low speed roads, how we connected them with its surrounding. And this is the high speed road and where the bus station is. And after that, we had our structure, and this is our 3D model. These are our centers: culture center, housing center, and the commercial area, warung shops on street sides. And we have also a health education center and health center here, and we have our we have common housing areas, like common houses where citizens can meet and do activities together. We will show in next pages better. And I should zoom out again. And we have illustrations here. A is housing center, which is on that part. We are looking on that side. And this is the culture center. Culture center is that part, and we are looking on that side. And here is our section from the upper side. This is the section, that section. And we created on the north side more kind of more compact houses, and they're a little bit different as structure than the south. And here is the master plan. And let's go to the next page. And here is the warung shops. We have illustration, and this is on the riverside where we have the paths for bikes and walking paths as well. And there are shops on the riverside, a good atmosphere to eat or shop in warung area. And this is our second section, and this is on the south side. This is the second section, and it is here. It's gray kind of, and when we zoom, just can see it. And here is our functions. This is this site commercial area, and there are warung shops kind of, and it's integrated into the housing area as well. It's not directly limited with that city. It's not the case. And on that part where there are some houses, like where you can have a shop and live in the same building. And we have here our health center and our education and common houses we have here where people can meet, do activities together, like pray, eat, or even wash together, which is usual in Indonesia. And here is our culture center. Bluetooth mode. And yeah, this PDF is kind of wrong. I should. Yeah.
Okay.
And these parts, I will explain.
So I will explain the types of housing. Actually, there are no limits for housing with containers. We have many variations on site. Containers gives an opportunity for flexibility and low cost for housing. And another advantage is you can move with your container anywhere if you don't like your neighbor. So there are less risk for housing investment actually. And in first type, we have 2 floors and 46 square meter for living. And they're designed well for maximum 4 people, but depends on growing population. That's easy to add containers. So they are statically great. You can add new containers to top or sides, but main rule is we have to protect them from the sun. We have bamboos to cover them, and sometimes we covered them with plants and created shadow. And in type 2, we have 1 floor and 60 square meter, and it's designed for people ideally. And there are no barriers between kitchen and living room in both types that create more space. And we have also, as you say, the downside, we have dry day model, and we also we have 1-minute video simulation for area. And if you want, you can open it now.
Yeah, I will open 1 moment.
So that is all. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. That was more a slideshow than a video.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Dia, what do you think about this project?
Okay, me first. Okay. Okay, for group 3, Modular Ecocity is a nice title. I think from the beginning, it's a very interesting idea that use a container as a model for housing unit with its all limitation on standard dimension and rigid shape. But solution from comfort side and from local character to local climate has also been, I think, anticipated with technical and design solutions. It's a good job, I think. In my opinion, however, it will be more interesting and more consistent if the public common facilities in the area, such as warung, were also designed using that model, container model. So it make more integrated with the housing typology. That's all, Pak Nariman. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And Nares, what do you think?
Okay, for group 3, I think this is nice while you provided some function like commercial area and then common houses, cultural buildings and so on. But I think you need kind of analyze the analyze the sites before you put this function in the settlement, because usually in the kampung, all of the public function is scattered in several places in the settlement, but they have a specific specific spot to have an activity together. It can be in the center, or it can be beside the alley. It can be along the river. But we need, but usually they have a specific character in a spot and also in a place. And I think you have to consider about how to analyze this function before you put the public function in the settlement. Okay, but I think it's a good challenge to accommodate the public function in this settlement. Okay.
Thank you, Naris.
I think that's Nariman.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Please, Ika Putra.
Yeah. Modular Ecocity actually seems.
Ika Putra, I cannot hear you very well.
Okay. Actually, the modular Ecocity seems not in line with the kampung culture, but looking at the approach, looking at the effort like this one is good for kampung because there is a standardized, there's a standard for living with really good for living space. And when I imagine that is built like this, so it will be a new form of kampung, but I'm sure soon, 5 years, 10 years later on, it will be kampungization. It become a kampung because the kampung people has a creative for to localize the quote unquote imported culture like this into their own culture. For example, making more additional terrace, making more space for private and public as well. So if you have a chance to come to Indonesia when we have after the earthquake, there is modular houses. There is a similar houses which built hundreds houses and more maybe, and become a kampung culture. So they extend some. So I'm sure this has become a really good example. Started with a standard, started with module, but it will soon become kampung culture because a variety of family and kampung try to his own designer later on. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ika Putra.